In this video, I'll be taking a look at the small rig cage for the Sony ZV1 camera. We'll go ahead and mount it to the camera and examine a couple of reasons why you might want to consider picking this up for your Sony ZV1 camera. When you order the small rig cage with wooden hand grip for the Sony ZV1 camera, part number 2937, it will come in a small box, in bubble wrap, and inside of plastic. Here you can see the cage has threaded 1/4x20 holes on the bottom and a nice big opening for your battery door so you can mount the camera to assorted mounts and still be able to get to the battery. Also comes with this sweet little Allen wrench for attaching the cage to your camera. Next, you're going to need to get your camera. This is my Sony ZV1. We'll go ahead and place the cage over the face of the camera. You need to make sure to push it snug so that it's tight against the body before you tighten the Allen screw. If you don't do that, you can still have some issues with the battery door not wanting to open. Next, we'll go ahead and take the Allen wrench that was included in the package and tighten the screw on the front of the camera until it's tight. On the bottom of the camera, we have a total of 9 1/4x20 threaded holes, which you can mount tripod mounts to any of those holes or accessory items. On the bottom of the camera, you also have a cold shoe mount for mounting accessories. And you can see we have good clearance to the battery door. So if we mount this camera onto a tripod in one of the 8 holes over on the right side, we can open that battery door without having clearance issues. On the top of the camera, you have access to the camera's built-in hot shoe mount, so you can mount accessories to that, either via cold shoe or hot shoe. We also have 2 1/4x20 threads on the front of the camera, 2 1/4x20 threads on the right side of the camera, and a hole for an optional camera strap. On the left side of the camera, you have another 1/4x20 hole, and then you have another hole for an optional camera strap. On the right side of the camera, we have the hole for the optional camera strap, and then we have an additional 5 1/4x20 threaded holes for accessory items. And you can still access the microphone, USB, and HDMI port. This is another picture of the bottom of the camera just to illustrate the depth of the wooden handle. They do make this cage with and without the wooden handle. I chose the wooden handle so I'd have a little bit more to grip onto. One of the reasons I purchased this small rig cage for my Sony ZV1 camera was due to the location of the 1/4x20 threaded hole on the bottom of the Sony camera. Whenever I had the camera connected to my tripod or selfie stick using that threaded hole, I became rather annoyed every time I needed to change the battery or I needed to access the SD card. To do that required me to remove the quick release plate of the tripod, or I would have to remove my selfie stick. Then I could open up the battery door, replace the battery, close the battery door, and then put the tripod release plate on or selfie stick back on again. Having to do that every time I needed to change the battery became rather annoying. If you purchase and install this cage, what you'll need to do when looking at your quick release plate is gauge the size of the quick release plate or the mount of your selfie stick, and then determine which of the threaded holes in the bottom are best to thread into. You don't want to place it like this where we're right next to the existing threaded hole of the camera, because if you do so, you will not be able to open the battery door all the way and get your battery and SD card out. So because of me choosing a bad location and I could not get the battery door all the way open, I needed to remove the quick release plate for my tripod mount and then move it to the right. When using the small rig cage and determining where to put your selfie stick or your quick release plate, you want to make sure you can see the existing 1/4x20 threaded hole on the bottom of the camera. If you can see that from the bottom, then the door is going to open just fine. So move it to the closest position where you can still see the 1/4x20 thread of the camera when looking down from above. Another reason I decided to buy the small rig cage was so I could mount additional accessories onto the camera. So here I have the Rode VideoMic Go and an adapter. The Rode VideoMic Go has a 3/8 inch thread on the bottom of it, so I needed this 1/4 to 3/8 inch adapter, and then that allowed me to attach my Rode VideoMic Go to the top of the camera. Because I'm using the small rig cage on my Sony ZV1 camera, that allows me to mount the microphone off to the left, and as you can see here, gives me the ability now to also mount a video light on the cold shoe mount of the camera. Here you can see with the small rig cage in place, we can still open the side doors of the camera to provide access to the microphone port, the USB port, or the HDMI port. So here I'm going ahead and plugging in my cable from my Rode VideoMic Go camera into the mic port. Here I'm removing my tripod quick release plate and then mounting the selfie stick from the Sony Vlogger kit, just to illustrate that the small rig cage is compatible with that selfie stick. And leaves you enough space to open the battery door. It does prevent you from using the bottom cold shoe mount on the cage because it's partly overlapping that, and that's also an issue that you may have with a lot of tripod mounting plates as well, or quick release plates. If you found this video helpful or informative, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please consider watching some of my other Sony ZV1 related videos and subscribing to my channel. Have a great day.